Guess who's back? We're back. Season 3, episode 1, just filmed. Bit of a different one. Well, we opened it up to you guys. So we had questions, situations, funny stories, just us being idiots.
Honestly, I had a lot of fun.
It
It was really good. It was different. So I'm looking forward to seeing the final product.
Me too. Let's jump straight in. Welcome back to Season 3 of the Almost Made It podcast. As always, proudly brought to you by Cultural Club. It's been a while, Maddie, but we're finally back in the studio.
How long's it actually been?
Brayden. I think before Christmas now.
I almost forgot how to do one of these.
I know, why am I so nervous?
I'm not nervous.
You're never nervous.
I'm born ready, man.
How are you?
Very good.
What happened to your head?
I've seen a bit of I got a bit of injury at indoor. A bit injured at indoor. Not really playing, but anyway, yeah. We'll leave that for another day.
Come on.
Huh?
Explain.
I had surgery on my finger. Got a few screws put in.
And you're on
And I'm on the mend because I'm actually playing outdoor again this season. Actually, we are playing outdoor together again this season for the first time in 10 years, I think.
The first time in 10 years. And hopefully we'll be able to record a bit of
we'll bring you on the journey with us.
Yeah, a few mic'd up training sessions and whatnot. It'll be a laugh, but it has been 10 years.
That,
I can't wait, man.
Very keen. Bought the new boots, ready to go.
Yeah, we bought the same boots. By chance, we didn't mean it.
Just pass it to the Italians. That's what I was saying.
Kicking and screaming.
Yeah.
But otherwise, how you been?
Yeah, good, man. Can't complain. I'm healthy.
Yeah.
Feeling good.
Yeah,
ready for a new season. Just got to get fit. Yeah. Training.
Yeah.
A lot of good things to look ahead to. So how have you been, all right?
Yeah, good. Same, I'm getting fit too.
How's your ankle, by the way? You're injured too.
Yeah, I know. We actually made a glass. It's bad. It's bad. We say we want to come back and play and we can't because we're always injured.
Nah, it's all right.
But we'll be all right.
We'll be all right.
We'll be all right for the start of the season. What about the podcast? What do we got planned?
Well, this one's actually a particular episode, isn't it?
It is.
So we've actually asked you guys what you want us to talk about. And we've got you to send some stuff in, so we're keen to cover this.
There's some good ones, some good questions, a couple of stories.
A few controversial ones, which I like.
There's a big
we always like those ones.
Yeah.
So, we want to do that more this season. Really, engage the audience with and collaborate with us. So,
well, it's nice because, we usually, after an episode, we get messages and when we see people that we know and we thought, why not just send in some stuff? We'll mention you on air if you want to be mentioned. You can remain anonymous. There's a few anonymous ones. Mm-hmm. And just get you guys involved a little bit more.
Yeah, no.
So do you want to kick it off?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, so these are just messages from you guys. We're just going to read them out, react, and then we've got a couple of stories as well, and obviously we'll just expand and have a laugh.
Yeah.
So first question is from Nicholas Belfiore, who messaged us on Instagram. Top 5 kits of all time.
Probably
off the top of your head.
One of my favourite kits, I'm probably not in order. I'm not going to say them in order, but I don't know if you remember the Regina one with Cafe Mauro.
Yeah.
That's probably one of my OGs. You can't go past the 06 World Cup Italy.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, that's the second question, to be honest.
About that?
Best if someone sent in favourite Italy kit.
Oh.
Who was that? TGTA.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, even the old ones are good.
The most iconic team kit that brings back memories.
For me, it's the Milan 2007 Champions League kit. Yeah. The blue in white, because Kaká was my favourite player. That's why I'll go for Milan. That's most iconic. But then if we're going back to the top 5.
Well, you said 3.
Man, these are too hard.
It is hard.
You can't go past the Boca Maradona either. Even honestly, Venezia's ones, they just were not the ones the prime Venezia a few years ago.
Yeah, yeah.
Those ones, they were sick.
We bought them.
Yeah, the white one. I got a white long sleeve one. And then, even honestly, I'll never wear it because for me, you can't wear another country. But the new Argentina one,
yes,
with a gold, wow.
Nice.
Even the Colombia anniversary edition, very nice. But I couldn't see myself wearing it. It just I feel dirty. Nothing to do with those countries, but as in, for me, you can wear other clubs, but when it comes to national team, bro, you can't portray your country and wear another country. That's just my opinion.
That's fair.
So yeah, what about you? What are your top 5?
I think probably 2010 Inter for obvious reasons, because it actually means something.
It's a nice kit too, to be fair.
It is clean.
Yeah.
Remember the Parma kit with the cross?
Yeah. I do remember that one.
Yeah, the white one with the navy cross. I don't know why I love that one so much. This also will answer the top Italy kit, but obviously 06. I don't want to say a kit from like a 19 when I don't remember.
I was going to say, because that means something too. I think that's a big point that you make.
Yeah.
It means something which makes it even better.
There were so many nice ones, but we weren't even alive.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly right.
Who we kidding? I don't know.
Probably the most iconic one would be the Liverpool Carlsberg Adidas Fernando Torres. That was a decent kit.
Yeah, that's iconic.
United, the Ronaldo long sleeve, white tape. That's iconic. I don't mind the Arsenal's Adidas ones right now. To be honest,
I like the Arsenal. Remember the one? I can't remember what year it was. Now it wasn't that long ago.
Was it the maroon and white one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Which one you're talking about. Nice. Fabregas. That was like Fabregas days.
02.
Even 02 with the Henry, the goal on the back. That was good. I feel like the Prem.
They're always outgoing.
Nah. And because the clubs like in Italy, mostly Italy, even some of the French clubs, they do collaborations with like the designer
big
brands.
Yeah.
So, like they've got that like nice style about them, you know? Whereas the Prem, let's be honest, the fake league. Not much else behind it. I'll be honest, man. It's just full of money, bro. It's not as like passion. I'm not hitting on like knocking the Premier League, but like it's the honest.
We've had
think about it. Most of the fans for most of these clubs are tourists, bro.
Yeah.
It's the facts.
We've had so many remember our argument we had? Not me and you. This was a while ago with our friends, the Premier League boys.
Oh yeah.
That went on for I think a good 2 hours. The argument was, would you rather play for Manchester City, sitting on the bench?
Yeah.
I'm talking prime Manchester City, not now. Or play for like a mid-table Serie A team, let's say like a Roma that has a rich history or whatever, and they were saying City every day. And I was like, nah, I don't agree. Like, yes, the money, whatever, but there has to be a reason you play for the shirt as well. Like, you can't just, at the end of the day, there has to be something else.
I totally agree. Look, I'll give you a prime example now, what's going on right now. Like Victor Osimhen, okay? He done what he did at Napoli and now he wants to leave. I would rather stay at Napoli for however long, leave when it's my time, if it is my time to go. I'll be a king. You know, you're going to go back to that city for the rest of your life. Your kids are going to go back to that city and you're going to be treated like a king, knowing what you've done to these people.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wants to be a sellout for the club that made him who he is, because otherwise he'd be no one.
Yeah.
And then, like, he wants to get this big transfer and he couldn't even get a transfer last season.
Yeah, I know.
So it's like these players, I think they're not managed properly. People around them talk absolute bullshit. They're just worried about their own pockets, and that's it. But I agree with you. And I'm not just saying this like, people won't say, we're biased because we're saying that about, like, I would rather play even like a Sevilla or like a Betis or something.
I'll just use that as an example.
But you know what I'm saying? Because people won't say, but that's what you say. But I'm not talking, we're talking about in general.
Imagine like playing for Betis,
like, literally.
Like a club with history, culture, fans that love you.
All you got to do is look at the treble-winning parade of Manchester City. And I'm not hating on City or whatever, but for me as a player, and I know others the same, we run off emotion and passion.
Yeah.
That for me,
club, man.
I would rather win one title my whole career, like say Totti, that Scudetto, would mean more to me than winning 6 Champions Leagues.
With half a stadium.
Exactly.
Okay, embarrassing.
Exactly. And that's exactly the point we're trying to make.
Yeah.
And
anyway, we could go all day about this.
But
should we move on to the next question?
Yeah, let's go on to the next question.
All right. Best Italy kit. All right. Who's winning the Serie A? From Anne Rite.
It's an interesting question. We're actually talking about this topic in the car on the way here. I feel like no one wants to win it these days. No one wants to win it lately because, everyone's dropping points. Atalanta's like just hanging around.
3 points, you said?
I said from the beginning, I think Napoli were going to win it because of, obviously, Conte and playing one competition.
Yeah,
and now I think Inter I think you will go deep into the Champions League, which I hope you do for the CR. But I do think because tournament football suits your squad, the way you play, I think you will do well. So then that could play an impact. Atalanta now don't have European football, so I'd love to see Atalanta win it.
They've always been there
because they deserve it, like for everything that they've done.
Yeah,
but football doesn't care about that. Exactly. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, but from a neutral point of view, I would like Atalanta to win it.
Yeah.
What about yourself?
I think Napoli is still a decent shout. Like, they've dropped some silly points. so of Inter, usually on the same round, which is very frustrating.
Yeah, exactly.
But like you, I think Atalanta's, they've been thereabouts for so many seasons now. It's only 3 points. Yeah. Anything can happen. This is, you know what this feels like? We're talking like back in the day when we were doing our old show.
It's all right every now and again. I don't mind that.
Just talking Serie A. This is a good one. This one's from Just Ant Life. What do you think of the B League Australian Championship starting at the end of the season?
Actually, a few people asked me this.
Same.
My opinion on it is, straight off the bat, yes, it needs to happen for the league to become more competitive and for them to actually have like pressure. Because like these A-League clubs that finish bottom every year and nothing's going to happen to them.
Yeah.
That's why also the league is the way it is, because people are complacent, there's no pressure. My only concern is, if I'm a B-League club coming into this competition, I know that they've had to outlay a fair bit of money, yeah? And so looking at it from their perspective, is it worth it? You know what I mean?
Mm.
Number two, if you are going to be part of, like, say, a B-League, which is a second division, look, we're looking at like a Serie B, yeah, let's say, even a championship, whatever. You've got to pay these players at least a full-time wage, in my opinion, because you can't be having these players as semi-professionals, having a day job.
Mm.
They're going to be traveling around the country.
Mm.
But then what? They're going to go be a concreter on Monday morning.
No, you can't.
It doesn't work like that.
No.
And I'm not saying you got to go pay them $200,000 a year, but at least a base salary, you know what I mean? Because not only that, then people are going to commit properly.
Yeah.
And then you're going to see the levels rise in terms of professionalism and
100%.
infrastructure and whatever.
Yeah.
So if that can get done right, I think it's a good step in the right direction.
Super positive.
But the problem is, knowing the history of how football works in this country, will this happen?
Yeah.
I'm not too sure.
You mean how successful will it be?
As in terms of, will these clubs actually have the money and the support from the governing bodies to actually allow this to happen? You know what I mean? Will they be able to pay these players properly, get the right coaches in, whatever?
Yeah.
Also, another interesting topic regarding that is, will some of these clubs overtake A-League clubs? Because,
to be honest,
I think like South Melbourne are going to be bigger than the A-League clubs.
If we're talking like we were saying just previously about, you know, playing for Roma compared to a Manchester City, whatever, there are cultural ties attached to a lot of these clubs, like, you know, your Preston Lions, South Melbourne,
we know a lot
all
of
these
Greek
big clubs
that would love to represent South Melbourne.
100%.
Over Melbourne Victory or
it has a long history.
Else.
Like, you feel connected to that club. I'd rather play for, you know, say a big, I don't know, Marconi Stallions or
100%.
whatever, because you actually feel, or Avondale. Avondale's in it too. Like, you know what I mean? Because you'd actually feel a bit of pride as well. You feel a little bit more connected. There's that community around the club rather than like I don't know.
No, I totally, like, without naming, you know, A-League names, not to disrespect them or any names clubs, but I remember going to the South Melbourne Preston FFA Cup game late last year, and just there, like, not that I have ties to any of those clubs or nationalities, but it's like that's what football's all about. Yeah. And I've never experienced that in an A-League game.
Yeah, exactly.
So, like, I know if I was a Macedonian youngster or Greek youngster, I'd be wanting to represent one of those clubs before Melbourne Victory, Melbourne City. But not only that too, like, you've got your people that are there in front of you that are actually tied to the club. It's a community.
Yeah, but the atmosphere too.
And the atmosphere, like it was a proper, you know,
it's so good.
Like, you know, what do you call it? Not Sunday league, but it was that local football atmosphere, you know, that was better than the A-League in my opinion.
Yeah, well,
mate, like, I was G'ing up watching that game. Like, the bug was coming back, you know.
Imagine one of those clubs then getting promoted.
Yeah.
You're telling me all those guys, they're going to go to the stadiums, they're going to...
Like, South Melbourne, I reckon, I've said it to someone, I reckon by the end of, not saying, I don't know, a time projection, but they'll have a full stadium, I reckon.
Yeah.
In the next 10 years, like a proper, they'll probably be the biggest club in Melbourne, I think. Because a lot of the Victory fans will go back there because that's where they originally started.
Correct. I agree.
But, yeah. Do you have anything more to add to that? What are your thoughts on it?
I think the biggest issue is the support from, like, governing bodies.
Yeah.
Because now there's going to be a second professional league, let's say. The first professional league doesn't get hardly anything.
That's very true.
So then, I guess, facilitate another professional league.
Yeah.
Like, yes, there'll be sponsors and all the rest of it. And, you know, a lot of these clubs can hold their own to an extent. But, you know, without support from the government
100%.
and funding from the government, I think it'll always be at a level.
And we also know the other problems that we face. And I personally think number one thing they've got to do is get the TV rights sorted.
Yeah, I know.
Because it's actually a disgrace. Like this Paramount bullshit, I don't mean to like hate on Paramount or anything, but it's actually a disgrace. Like even the fact that people have to pay to watch the A-League. The A-League is, let's be honest, it's dog shit. I'll be straight out for you. I can't watch it anymore. Why is it not free to air? Like to promote the game, or at least to have like a more known like provider, let's say. Something more accessible to people.
Yeah.
Because you're still trying to build it's not like the Premier League, yeah? The Premier League could stream on a platform that you've never heard on and everyone's going to pay for it because it's the Premier League.
Yeah.
What's the A-League? Nothing. So they need to build that brand up first before they start throwing out money. You got to pay $35 a month to watch this.
Yeah.
But what am I paying for?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
For me, I think it should be much more easily accessible to the modern day person, to just the everyday person.
Yeah.
Because then they'll affiliate themselves with certain clubs.
Especially kids too.
Exactly. Kids grow up, that's my club. And then when they get to our age, they're that tied to that club that they'll pay they don't care how they watch that game, they will. But no one's ever got to the stage where they care enough to actually then invest money or time or into that club or team.
No, it's still a very new league in the grand scheme.
That's just my opinion. I know there's the business aspect and all this, but I just think it's done backwards.
This is from Adam Galeotto. If you never played football, what sport do you think you would have gravitated to?
That's a good one. You answer that one first.
Probably, I played a bit of tennis growing up. I'm terrible, but I always enjoyed playing tennis. Paddles. Now we've got into paddle a fair bit.
Yeah, no, paddle's good.
Paddle's good.
We would go into some sport, I think.
Yeah, definitely something. I boxed a little bit too, which was fun. You probably do UFC the way you're going with your hands.
He doesn't step in the ring with me, but he's a bit scared. Actually, we should do one time. What? Actually, would you guys like to see us step in the ring?
What?
Like just for a charity, not for charity, but just for for a laugh. Yeah,
me versus you.
Yeah, but we're like guards and shit.
No contest.
But even though I'm gonna have to put on some weight, but to get to your weight, bro.
No contest.
Mate, I'll kill you.
Yeah. Right. What would you have played?
I don't know. Like, I was thinking, like, genuinely to pursue maybe like tennis. Like, I did play a bit of footy when I was young, like with my mates.
We're too little for.
But that's the problem. Like, don't get me wrong, skills, I back myself in footy. Like, I can kick a ball.
Footy actually.
Bro, you've seen me. I can kick a ball and shit, like small forward, but I just don't have
small forward.
I don't have the physicality. You know what I mean? And already I knew that when I was young. Like, I played under 10s, I think, or 1 year under 12s, and I was like already the smallest. And these guys were growing. It's like footy's a very athletic sport.
Were you fast bowler as well back in the day?
Yeah, no. Huh? I did cricket 1 year, for a laugh. I actually told the people. So all my mates played cricket, and like I had FOMO. So I played,
cricket, man.
I was a good batsman, but it was funny. Yeah, we used to you have to wait to bat. You know, obviously it was only 2 batters, so you just sit there. Yeah. And me and the Wog boys, we used to bring a soccer ball. We used to just kick the soccer ball down waiting because we didn't care.
People get upset?
Yeah, the coach, mate, these Wogs, mate, what are you doing? Nah, but he did get cut. But then I just did it for a laugh. But honestly speaking, I reckon tennis. Tennis, or I would have loved to get into motorsport of some sort. That would have been really good. Even obviously go-karting, or I'd love to even motorbikes, like Superbike or MotoGP, let's say, one day. Well, what I'm saying is hypothetically, you know. But I think tennis as well.
Yeah. This is from Marcus Borelli. Still early, but so far, and in your opinion, who is going to win the Ballon d'Or?
You know what, Marcus? This one, I know who you're going. Why this question came up.
Why?
I agree with you too. I think you can't go past the Egyptian king at the moment.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Liverpool.
If they win the league, which they're going to win the league, they got a chance in the Champions League. I haven't seen anyone individually probably make more of an impact to their team.
You know, I actually saw an interesting reel yesterday. Interesting. It was just some guy providing his opinion literally on this on this topic. He's like, if you think back 10 years ago, right, and we're talking prime Messi,
so
Ronaldo
what's that?
days.
We're 2015, 2014 times, yeah?
And you compare, I know we're comparing two of the greatest players ever, but even if you even go before that, I'm talking maybe even Ronaldinho days and stuff, and we're talking the Ballon d'Or winners of the past to Salah, those guys used to make you dream.
Oh, yeah. But that's another
Do you know what I
topic
mean?
that we're going to talk about.
This is actually another good segue.
Yeah.
But
I know what you're
yes, he's
about.
don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Like top
and
class
he's
player.
impactful.
Yeah.
Not just
he wins
bullshit
games
step overs. He punishes.
But like he's not Ronaldinho.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
I know what you're
do you know what I'm trying to say? He lacks the magic.
Understand.
Like he doesn't make you like, oh wow.
Like this is actually a lot of the boys, like, you know, we got Marcus, we got like Rock and that go for Liverpool, and we always have this discussion about they're talking about Salah's new contract. And I personally, like, let me know your thoughts, guys, but I think Salah's done more for Liverpool than Steven Gerrard, in my opinion.
Ooh, that's a big one.
In terms of what he's won, what he's done, Steven Gerrard's a legend. But let's be honest, he never won a Premier League.
No.
He won one Champions League, I think it was, and a few FA Cups, whatever. But look at what Salah's done, yeah? For me, it's almost disrespectful the way Liverpool are treating him. If I was him, I'd tell him to go stick it and, you know, win the title and leave. Because it's disrespectful. You know, this guy, it doesn't matter his age. Look at what he's done for your club.
Yeah, exactly.
But, yeah, I think personally that
he's probably
Ballon d'Or is the biggest shout.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear these Mbappes because, mate, the first 3-4 months of Real Madrid, he was nowhere. So, for me, that'll cost him, I think, even though he's coming strong now. Yeah. But leading on to the next topic, I know exactly what you're trying to say with this.
Take it away.
Let's talk about it because I think it's a big issue. Oh, an issue. It's I know an issue for us.
Go.
Footballers aren't what they used to be in terms of the pureness.
We've been like that for a while.
And I think it's become too stat-based.
Yeah.
Like, for example, this guy has 3 out of 5 dribble completes or whatever it may be.
Yeah, there's a lot of
but what's he done? Yeah. How many times has he put that ball in the box and actually got the team's got a chance from it or scored a goal? Whereas, like, you have your like Pirlo's, you know, your Ronaldinho's that.
Well, look,
it's like they're an artist.
Yeah. Our position that we play is dead.
That's what makes me like happy on the pitch, like being creative, having basically a blank canvas and create and work on, like, you know, you work on what's the word? Not adrenaline.
Instinct.
The instinct, sorry. You know, the ball comes, you little flicks, this, that. But I feel like that's gone out of the game these days.
No,
Who is the last number 10?
Because you can't teach it. Now it's all about this is the way to do it. And if you don't do it, you're wrong.
And not only that, bro, you got 7-year-olds that are doing training like they're in the army. You know what I'm saying? At 7, like that's your creative period. Like going on the street.
Yeah.
I think Johan Cruyff, I've seen a thing about him talking about this before when he was alive, saying street football's dying. And that's why these positions are dying. And I couldn't agree more.
Well, when you know, when a coach would ask, like, nowadays, obviously I've been playing.
Yeah.
What's your preferred position? And I say, like, number 10, like second striker or something like that. They're like,
doesn't exist anymore.
We don't really play with a number 10. And I'm just like,
you got to say false nuevo now, mate.
No, that's not even a thing anymore.
I know. I'm just saying that's the trend, bro.
I know.
Everyone's fucking playing false 9s these days.
He'd probably ask, what did you get in your beep test? Or how quick you are over 10 metres. But anyway.
And you know what? It's a trend that I've noticed in all sports, not just football. But I feel like football, obviously a beautiful game, there's more of that artistry to it. And it was like the essence of the game, let's say.
And I'm a S&C coach during the day, by the way.
Yeah.
So I realise the importance.
So it's his fault.
No, but I realise the importance of strength and conditioning and being strong and being athletic and whatever. But if we're just talking about like pure footballer, it's dead. No,
I agree. You know, like then when actually, I wanted to say, I mentioned him in this conversation because I've been watching Como quite frequently. And you know who gives me that bit of spark again? Watching, I don't know if you've seen him play much, Nico Paz.
Oh, yeah.
He's that just like runs, but man, when he gets the ball, he's just trying, you know, really like, he's got that South American flair about him.
Who would you say is like, who was the last proper number 10?
That's a good question, but it's very hard to answer.
From Messi, that's an obvious one.
Yeah, but Messi is in a category of his own,
exactly.
in my opinion.
Same.
If you're trying to compare anyone to Messi,
no,
I don't know. You got to maybe go to the psychiatrist. But I don't know, like a Kaká, man. Like,
Kaká's probably a good show.
Because that's why I like fell in love with those type of players. Because Milan, when we played, when I started watching Milan, that was a player that I looked at. But I'd say, even like Wesley Sneijder, For Milan?
I was
For
literally
Inter?
going to say Schneider's.
For Inter?
I'd say him. He was probably
What about in the Prem?
old school.
Trying to think of,
In a number 10 in the
Yeah.
Prem.
you know who I really liked, but he wasn't really a number 10, but he was just really good technically, was Jack Wilshere, man. He was hampered by injuries.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say he was maybe a 10, but he was really creative.
What do you think, this is from Adam, what do you think Australian football can implement at a junior level to better the game? This is huge. To better the game.
To better the game.
We could probably do a whole episode on this.
First of all, get rid of parents' involvement,
That's a good one.
I think.
That's a good one.
Drop your kids off to training and go.
Yeah.
Or stay around, but you got no say, no involvement because too many experts.
Yeah.
Let the kids develop themselves and let them and just enjoy.
But I agree because that's what we saw in Europe.
Yeah.
But you also need to be able to trust the coach.
That's correct.
You know what I mean? If your coach
You
is
can't be having a dad. Yeah, no.
Then
No, that's fair enough. I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah. So they go hand in hand.
Yeah.
I think the quality of coaching.
Yeah.
And then that's paramount, I think, at that level. And also the mentality. Like working too much like bullshit about like they're 7, in and out, touch this, that. But like let them have fun. But then when they get to a certain age, for me, what's going to make the difference isn't that. It's up there, man. Upstairs.
Yeah.
You got to get them to be harder and stronger. And like we go on about our upbringing in football and how like imagine that method was used in today's society. How many of them would last? And it wasn't that long ago.
Mm.
So I think that's another important factor because they're too soft here.
Yeah.
I think.
There's a lot. There's a lot.
But like you said, that's such a topic that could be one episode.
Yeah, I think so.
But that's the ones that come to mind.
Yeah, I think they're good points.
Yeah.
Also, I think but the thing is, like we talk about culture. How do you change a culture? You can't. I'm talking football and culture.
It stems from culture, but like football culture also stems from the culture of the country.
Very hard.
Like from the way, when I say culture of the country, the way people live, the way they think, that also goes then into the football.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
100%. I think we saw, who else was talking about this? Might have been Suited and Booted. But
Were they talking about that?
We were saying like how the culture
I think I've always thought that, that it's
definitely impacts the way football's seen, the development of football, how players are grow up in the system,
how they
all the rest of it.
live and breathe football in certain countries, and then you see it. Like look, even in Brazil, let's say, the national team, it doesn't matter. The country stops. Like most national teams are like that, but Brazil, let's say, is one of them. The whole country stops for that team.
Yeah.
That's like a thing that's filtered through the culture of the whole country, not just football.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
How much, this is another B-League question. How much of an impact would promotion and relegation have on the A-League and, well, it says MPL, but I'm assuming, MPL too, actually.
I think it's the best thing that happened for the A-League in terms of sort of like a kick up the ass. Knowing that you can't be like just content in losing and just comfortable. Like you look at like in Europe, you got some of these coaches like they win a title and then they lose a few on the bounce and they're already under pressure.
Yeah.
Because there's consequences.
Yeah.
To not winning, here it's like, we'll just try again next season.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like
it's true.
I think that's going to make a big impact. And also it's like a pride thing. Like they're the new boys coming in from the MPL. We're an A-League team. You got a bit more about, like show us who you are in terms of like, if I'm the A-League team, I'm not going to let them step on me. So like they might now be like, all right, we can't fuck around anymore because we end up being in the B-League.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
I think it's the best thing that'll happen to football. It's the only thing that's going to make it grow.
Yeah, it has to. It should have happened. I know the infrastructure and all that other bullshit, but it has to happen.
But even from like an entertainment perspective,
that too.
Like to actually get people to the stadiums and people
because it means all the games mean something.
And everything. Exactly.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, there's an added level of, all right, this is serious. We can't, like you said, never can't just lose.
Yeah, well, that's what happens with all of these clubs. They lose. The manager, what pressure does he have?
Yeah.
He might have some guy with no profile picture on Twitter, whatever his name out.
Yeah.
Like, that's pressure.
But then, then it creates relegation battles, promotion battles.
And every game, like the relegation battle might be, intense. So like people tune into that game because it means something.
Yeah,
they're not just 15 points last
exactly.
and then it's all right. Doesn't mean anything.
Try again.
Yeah, literally try again. He has a participation award.
Yeah,
go again next season.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
winning versus development at a young age. What's more important?
I feel like the beginning of a child's career, say, or journey, it should be about enjoyment. But then I feel like there's a stage. I don't really know what age to say, but like maybe 10.
What are you trying to say?
That's when they should start
worrying about winning.
When they realize they're taking it a bit more serious and they actually got something about them. I think then you got to start worrying about results.
I think we have to be careful in that. I think personally,
that's what I'm trying to say.
You got to start worrying about winning.
That's the thing I'm trying to say.
From a coach's perspective,
that's correct.
Like you want to instill that in your players, but also like at 10 years old, yes, you want to win, but you don't want to jeopardize a player's development to win under 10 B League.
I think you've hit the nail on the head.
Do you know what I mean?
It's the individual that has to want to win. But I even agree. You know what? I was having this conversation with Paddy the other day about Milan Futuro and saying how, they're like, the coach is going to get sacked.
This is a future team for
Milan. So it's like the B team, let's say. But it's like, for me, I look at Milan, how many of those Futuro players are actually now starting to break into the first team. As that coach, I feel like I've done my job. My job's not to win the Serie C.
Oh, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But obviously, what I'm trying to say is to what you're saying, and I think that is the answer to this question, is it's the individual.
Yeah.
They've got to want to win, but the coach shouldn't be judged on winning the championship.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then it's hard because you need to instill this mentality into these young kids that want to have the will to win.
You can get that out at training and stuff. You know what I mean? You make it really competitive, whatever. But
when we say the will to win, that doesn't just mean the game. Like your challenge, better yourself at training. Maybe you got to work on passing. Yeah. Will to win is also a will to improve.
Yeah.
So I think, honestly, I think you've hit the nail on the head.
Yeah. This one is from Marco. If there is one trait that an aspiring athlete should work on, what should it be? I don't know if he means like footballer or just an athlete in general.
If you mean in general, like
I think obviously
mentality.
Yeah,
I think the mentality. Like mental toughness and resilience and persistence. Just to keep going. Which is like it's hard, but as you get older, you realize how important it is. Because sometimes, I'm not saying failing, but the difference between making it and in anything in life and failing is just persisting, just to keep going. So that's the best advice I could give.
I think that's pretty good
in terms of mentality. Physically,
good. Physically, it really depends.
I think that's individual.
Yeah, but if there's a general one that I would say, which is what I try and get across to my athletes, is just like resilience. I'm talking about like physical resilience.
Yeah, like to be able to take a knock.
Knocks. Little niggles, obviously nothing stupid.
It's true,
but like that, whatever it takes to keep you on the pitch for as long as you can be on the pitch.
And pushing it the hardest you can.
That's the most important thing, I think.
For sure.
Yeah. What's next? What do we got? This is from Jordan Wilkes. What can Australian soccer learn from their AFL? Example, a national draft. This is a good one.
Yeah, it is an interesting topic.
I think personally...
The A-League, I think, can do that.
I think a lot.
Yeah.
Personally, like being involved a little bit now and understanding like the AFL.
Yeah.
With like having a couple of athletes aspiring to be AFL footballers and whatever. I think the AFL does it from what I'm not an expert by any means, but from what I've understood and what I've tried to understand, they do things at that level really, really well, at the highest level too. But their organisation around drafts,
pathways and stuff.
It is like pretty much black and white. Yeah. You're either good enough or you're not.
Yeah.
And as we know, our football is not like that in the slightest.
Sure.
Like there's so many variables, so many grey areas. There's also, we're talking like, in the AFL, there's how many clubs? 18?
Yeah, 18.
18 clubs.
Yeah.
And each one of those clubs have, ID, talent ID, and all the rest of it. Like with football, it's a little bit, I don't know what the word is. Like you don't really know.
I know. It's not a conventional like linear way.
Never
to
is.
do it. Not saying AFL is, but there's a clear pathway laid out that, you could get mature age.
Let's say you know what to do.
Yeah. You just put yourself in that area.
Correct.
And you got a good chance of getting picked,
Yeah, you've got your like landmarks to hit.
Yeah.
You can put together somewhat a plan, tick things off the list to get to the top. With like our football.
Yeah.
Like you put yourself in the right environment and whatever, and you put yourself in the limelight and you just sort of hope for the best. I mean, for a lot of the time. You want to play MPL and all the rest of it, but there's so many variables.
See, with the draft, I feel like in Europe it would never work. There's just too many clubs and countries. Yeah. But in Australia, I think they could implement something like that. It'd be a lot. It'd actually be easy to monitor because it's not a big pool.
No.
And it's one country. Which is what the AFL does smart because it's a one country, they only play it in one country. There's one league and that's it. Everything goes through that channel. So I think the A-League could definitely, and the NPL working together could implement something, or even the FFA, whatever.
100%.
I think it's it's a feasible option.
Just how organised it is.
Yeah. It's definitely something.
Our football's a shambles, especially as we know.
100%.
This one, the next one's an actual story. Right, he's elected to stay anonymous.
Yeah.
So this guy's dad, his uncle, and a few others started a soccer club, an amateur soccer club back then in 1998. His cousin, himself, and a friend obviously just grew up around the club, and that they knew that eventually they were going to be the next ones to take over. Right, as they grew up, people came and went from the club as they do. Unfortunately, his cousin actually passed away. So that left a little bit of a hole in that, because obviously they were going to come and take over. It got a little bit disjointed. And then there were a few people at the club who wanted to help the situation and help them try to then be the new generation, but really they were sort of undermining the whole thing. And then the guy's dad, so out of 25 years of the club existing, he was a president for 20 years. And then basically, in the end, they went behind their back, voted against them all, kicked them out, and then see you later. Then a whole new committee came in. And obviously, he's very upset about it. This is pretty recent. Last year.
So it's fresh.
Yeah. And he just wants our opinion on the situation.
Yeah, look, it doesn't surprise me. I'm sorry to hear.
Yeah.
Because, we've seen, not that we've been involved personally, but we've seen it happen and we know what football's like. Unfortunately, people that you think that might be, in your corner, they're only looking out for their own agenda.
Yeah.
So that's something, that we learned pretty young. But the unfortunate thing is it doesn't surprise me.
No, this is like typical big football, man. Like Victorian football.
We're talking about, like you said, I'm pretty sure you told me it's amateur.
Yeah.
So we got people trying to take over these clubs like they're about to be Florentino Perez of Real Madrid. It's all for their own ego, I'll be honest with you.
It's so stupid.
That's all it is. Because realistically, I guarantee you, these people wouldn't have a clue about football, 99% of them.
Yeah.
And the fact that you started this club off scratch says that you've done it out of passion and love for the game. Because you've done the groundwork.
Yeah.
These people want to just come in and swoop and be like, I'm the CEO or the president, whatever you want to call it, of that club. So,
and then what?
Exactly. And then it's like, you got the title, brother. What do you want? What, you think you're going to go to the UEFA draws or something?
Yeah, it's so stupid.
So
I feel like this is a lot more common than we obviously hear about.
Yeah, because we never really looked at that point of view of a club.
No, not really. We just show up and play.
Yeah, exactly.
But I reckon this sort of situation and so many similar ones, especially we'll call it like the ethnic clubs, like the little grassroots amateur clubs.
Yeah.
I feel like that's where it's the worst. It's all so political.
It's because not to be rude, but it's a lot of people that never really played at a decent level and they just want to have their, their time in the spotlight. So they try and, and a lot of these president type people are trying to live their lives through their kids and that, I think.
There's a lot of
You know what I mean?
There's so much of it.
They couldn't really do much when they were young, so they're just trying to now be relevant, let's say.
Yeah.
I think, but like Ali said, he's a boxer, so if you need anyone to come down, sort it out.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, no worries.
Hit Ali up.
Well, sorry you went through that.
But I'm sorry about that, but if you need anything, we're always here, but it doesn't surprise me, mate.
No,
I'll be honest. I'm sorry to say.
Not at all. And I'm sure there's not that that's a good situation, but I'm
we're
sure
not saying
there's
it's the
so
right
many
thing.
bad ones. Like,
But yeah, if we can be of any help, reach out.
I was actually, I'll give you one that I was told recently, and I'll try and keep it as anonymous
Is
as
this
I
like
can.
a similar thing to this?
No, another sort of situation.
Oh.
Like, just so you get an idea of what happens behind the scenes, because I didn't know a lot of this.
Yeah, well,
As I said, we just play, we showed up, and
I'll be honest,
left.
yeah, we don't, as players, you don't want to get involved in that shit.
No, but a youth player I'll be careful here, at Melbourne Victory explained to me a situation involving a Victorian club, NPL club, where basically, eventually he made it to where he wanted to go anyway, which is Victory, but he had to go the very, very long way around because what happened was this club played a game against Melbourne Victory in the league. I think they were like the under-16s at the time. This kid played really well, and Victory wanted to reach out, ask about him, and then eventually sign him, right? He knew none of this. His family knew none of this. Victory basically, the club has this policy that any clubs wanting to sign or ask about any players
This is not Victory, the other club.
The other club have to go through the TD, and then the TD will make a decision himself on the situation, pretty much, right? So this kid eventually got signed by Victory. I think it was 2 years later. And when he went to the club, it was the same guy who had tried to sign him a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Basically say to him, what happened in, 2 years ago? And he was like, what are you talking about? And then it came out that basically the technical director of his junior club deemed himself that the kid was not ready. And then he had to keep playing. And the mum hadn't, his parents had no idea. He had no idea. And they found out after the fact. 2 years after the fact. Now, if he never got picked up again, that opportunity, see you later, gone. He might have stopped playing for whatever reason, and he would never have known.
Mate, I don't know.
Like, how
say it, bro. Say it.
How fucking stupid.
Facts, bro. This is why this football is fucked in this country.
Who the fuck are you to make a decision on a kid's footballing future?
And you know what pisses me off the most? Fucking makes my blood boil. Half these technical directors are fucking shit. Like, they've never played that. They've never played at any. But straight out, bro.
No,
they've never. I'm not saying I'm fucking Ronaldo.
All right, enough now.
Nah, but straight out, like, how can you make a decision like that on a player without consulting them?
Disgusting.
Number two, your job as that club is to produce players.
Yes.
It's not like, maybe when the B League comes in, it becomes a bit different. Because this club might be trying to get into trying to build their own. But still, like, we know there comes a time, like, you see it in the top divisions. You know, clubs that are like feeder clubs and clubs that are like destination clubs. So you got to know your role as well in this.
Yeah.
And I think that's the problem with these clubs.
Exactly.
Bro, you're a role player in this.
Yep.
You're not the destination club.
Correct. And I don't know why you would think any other way.
That stories like that make me sick, and that is the reason why I do not get involved in football in this country.
Yeah,
for that exact reason, because it just makes me sick. The amount of the egos are just floating around for their own agendas.
It's pretty embarrassing, to be honest. When he told me, like, I was so angry. But like I said, these are the things we don't really hear about too much. Bro. But
that's why
definitely
I'm glad I don't hear too many
and
of them.
I'm sure there's probably a million other. But anyway, this is the last question. This is from Rach. If you had your time again trialing overseas, what would you have done differently?
Me, I would listen more. Just people around me and not be as stubborn. And probably just keep going in terms of stop listening to too many people and just
listen more, but stop listening.
No, like, when I say stop, like, listen to the right people. You know, when you're young and everyone's telling you, one's telling you this, one's telling you that, and you're almost there, like, bro, I don't know who to listen to. And then you're just like, fuck yous all, and you do your own thing. I wish I just, like, was a bit more level-headed and, listen to the right people, but then not listen too much. It's funny, but you know what I'm trying to say. In terms of what I mean is, it sounds stupid, but like listen to your coaches, those type of people around you instead of everyone else trying to,
buddy in
and you should do this. But when you're young, man, like you don't really know what's going on. That's what I sort of mean. Listen to those type of people and keep the noise out, because then you just get confused, man, as a kid.
Yeah.
And then just probably it's hard to like. I wish I had a better mentality in terms of when I was younger, but like, what can you when you're 10 years older, looking back, of course, you're gonna say that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But that would be like probably the biggest thing.
Mm.
And maybe I would have gone younger, man. To be honest,
a good one.
I think. I'll look at it now. I think we went too late.
Yeah.
In my opinion. And it was just.
Well, I was 16 and I still think that's too late.
When I say too much catching up to do, like, you want to sort of go there like 13, 14. By the time you're 16, you've been there 2 years, man. You're just like in the system. You're one of them.
Yeah.
You know? I think that if I had my time over again, that would be probably one as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. What about yourself?
Yeah, I think, look, to be honest, mentality, I think I was pretty switched on, like very focused.
Yeah, you were very mature, like.
I don't think I think going early is a big one.
Yeah.
I think that's a massive key to it all. Like I thought, looking back, we thought
you think you're young, but you're not.
But you're not.
Nah. Especially when you compare ages to Europe. I'm talking in general life. A 6-year-old compared to a 6-year-old here is like 4 years advanced over there. So like that makes a difference too, man.
Definitely.
Because you're going there as a 16-year-old, almost a kid here. They're like men there.
Yeah.
They're switched on, man.
Yeah.
Like tactically, and also like they're street smarts. You know, in the games, in the change rooms, like to try and sort of single you out because you're a new one.
Yeah.
You don't understand all those games.
No.
But if you go there when you're young, you understand the footballing culture. By the time you're 16, you know what's going on.
Look, to be honest, I think we could probably do another episode because there's actually a few more questions, but
we'll throw them in at the end of maybe a few episodes.
Yeah, I reckon too.
Or we can jump online on our Instagram and answer them.
I think we're gonna keep this open as well. Yeah. So every episode, regardless of who we have in the studio, we're gonna throw it to you guys.
Definitely
have a segment, and if you have any questions or for us situations, I think the situations one's funny because there's so many different ones.
We'll even try and do a few lives like coming up. You know, on Instagram, we'll jump on, answer your questions. You can send stuff in. We want to interact more with you guys.
Definitely.
You know?
But it has been a pleasure to be back in the studio. Season 3, episode 1, done and dusted. It's been a while. We've got the cobwebs out now.
It was good.
It was good.
Mate, we chase you for a living anyway. So.
I know. We just turned the mic on.
Exactly.
But thank you for tuning in. Make sure you follow us on Instagram. Follow on Spotify, YouTube.
That's a good one, mate.
YouTube, TikTok, and everything else. As always, it's a pleasure, and we'll see you next episode.